Now with solo leveling, we have artifacts and we have hunters, and so with that, in this video, I'm going to give you guys a bit of a helping hand in terms of, with the hunters that we have, being the SSRs of course, which gear sets, which artifacts would you want to use, and specifically looking into like the full sets, because of course running a 2 set, you'll get a buff. Running a full set basically makes so that the self and what it's designed is basically the best that it can be. And so what I want to do is kind of go through the sets, see what we're working with, and then of course when it comes to the hunters, you know, which hunters will work best with the sets itself. I'll also bring up certain sets that will work with JINWOO in terms of the weapons that you're using. There are certain weapons that you can just kind of have and make use with the gear sets, with the artifacts that you're using to support your main weapon. So we'll also go through that. So let's start things off. So we'll do the first. Okay, we've got a few gear sets to go through. Goddamn. Okay, so we've got the destroyer gear set. So you got 2 sets. So pretty much this is the power acquisition gear set. So your power gauge acquisition rate increases by 20% when you have a 2 set, and then when you have a 4 set, the battle starts, charges power gauge by 50%, and additionally increases the player and the party gauge's power acquisition rate by 20%. So obviously a 4-man is preferable in terms of getting that plus 50 at the beginning of the turn, at the beginning of the fight, and then your whole team then benefits from that 20% when it comes to the power gauge acquisition. And so from that, realistically, the hunters that want to cater to that set in particular clearly will be Min first and foremost in terms of the healing side of things, right? Because of course he is the healer, and we want to make good use of making sure that the HP is there in a consistent manner. And the other team, the other player, should I say, is Libora, which I actually do have the set on in terms of making good use of the debuff removal, charm. So that's kind of where you're at when it comes to the 2 characters. I mean, you can also throw it with so you can also, I mean, because of course she's technically a free character. Juhi is also a character which you can utilize the power gauge onto. I feel like she'll benefit from it a lot, to be honest, when it comes to getting that power gauge rolling through. Not just for herself but the whole team. But yeah, and when it comes to the characters in particular that you want to cater to that artifact, will be Libora, Min, and again, if you want to throw the SRs on board, Juhi will also be a nice little touch for the destroyer set. Heading over to the the solid foundation set, which looks absolutely badass. So increases basic attack damage by 18%, and then if you 4 set it, increases core attack damage by 18%, and when the attack hits, charges the core gauge by 60. So this is the set that I have got on my who have I got it on? Oh, Lim Tae-gyu, yes. So obviously with this man in particular, you've got to keep in mind the ultimate turns into sniper mode. Once sniper mode is activated, his basic attack changes into quick attack typhoon fire, and then quick attack typhoon fire damage does 1003. So basically his ultimate is his basic attack. So you want to cater to actually giving him the I forgot what the set was called now. What's it called? What is it called? Solid foundation. Yeah, so he would find it most beneficial with this gear set. You can also run multiple another gear set, which I'll get into in just a second. But if you want to cater to the ultimate in terms of damage, because again it falls back into his basic attack going into the sniper mode, then solid foundation will be the best bet. You can 2 set run this with the break set, which we'll get into in just a second, but I've got a full set on the solid foundation onto him, so that's who I would correlate that specific gear set for. Also, I should mention, if you are investing into JINWOO, you could also throw that gear set onto JINWOO himself. That's if you want to utilize the huntsman's weapon. Obviously with the huntsman weapon, as you guys can see, it is more in line with the basic and the core attack. So if you want to make good use of this specific weapon, and you're probably wondering, what artifact works well with JINWOO if I want to use the shotgun? Well, throw on the foundation set. This is the best set for the shotgun if you want to utilize it to the best that it can be. So heading over to the armed set, or the Black Lion set, call it what you will, and this one is kind of self-explanatory in terms of it just kind of being increases the user's attack by 5%, and then when attacking ignores 50% on the target's defense and attacks. I will say this is kind of universal in most terms. So I mean, again, if you want to just apply this onto JINWOO just in general as a universal artifact, then please do so, you know. But when it comes to utilizing the attack, I mean, realistically, you're gonna cater to, if I'm being honest, Choi's gonna be, you know what, no, Choi is the perfect choice, because I feel like for the most part a lot of people don't have his dupes, and if that is the case, give him that artifact. That will be the best artifact for Choi if you have no dupes or like 1 or 2 dupes, right? Just throw that onto him. He will benefit from that a lot. You can, if you want to, also throw it onto Libora in terms of, because she is an attacking unit technically, so if you want to have that more offensive side of her, you can cater to that gear set. You can also give it to Lim too in terms of giving him damage. But outside of that, when it comes to the SSRs, I always forget about Huang. But the issue with him is that we don't have a defense gear set, if I'm confident in saying. I mean, we'll run through it in just a second, but if that isn't the case, then I think that, yeah, you can also throw it onto Huang So. But I think in terms of how he works, because he also works off from defense when it comes to his damage. So I think if you do go for the attacking set, being the black line set, then I think the substats you need to kind of cater to defense in terms of how his damage works, because it works off from his defense. But I'm confident in saying we don't have any defense gear set. But yeah, I think those 4 will be the best options for that artifact. Going for the okay, so the one-hit kill set. So with this set, it is catering to nothing but ultimate. So it increases the ultimate skill damage by 25%, and then if you have a 4 set, decreases the ultimate cooldown skill by 40%. Now, with this particular ultimate, there's only one unit which I would say cater to, and that will be Choi. However, you need to dupe him out. The only reason why you would apply his ultimate is if you have him +5. So while tagging out, cooldown of end of days passes 3 times faster and recovers power gauge by 0.5% every second. If you have a maxed out Choi, you throw that onto him. You throw that ultimate artifact. Outside of that, realistically, I wouldn't really cater it to anyone else. Unless you want to just... I mean, well... I would say unless you want to have fun with it, but the thing about solo leveling with right now is you can't afford to just mess about, you know? So yeah, unfortunately with the ultimate set as it stands right now, it is only for Choi, but you need to dupe him out. So realistically, for the most part, no one should be touching that artifact, so leave that be. So with this set, obviously the 2 set is extremely helpful in terms of raising HP, so that's something to take note. But if you 4 set it, you have to keep in mind you're losing out that 8% decrease on the attack, and if that is the case, then your whole team will benefit from the attack. So realistically, a full set on this artifact, you want to apply it onto a character that isn't there for damage, because you're losing out on the 8%. But obviously with the HP, so looking into that, obviously the first character which I will go straight into will be Min. He's there for heals. I am currently running that gear set onto him, so my whole team's getting that plus damage, and obviously with the HP, it does correlate into it helping him out in terms of catering to more healing through his max HP. Also, he does work off from his HP in terms of damage, so that's something that you guys can cater to. The 2 other characters that can cater to HP is JINWOO, of course. I wouldn't recommend running a full set, although if you want to cater to a double set, then go for that, because she does good damage. So realistically, I wouldn't really want to affect her. So if you want to run the 2 set, you can do so. Emma, same thing. If you want to run the 2 set, go for it. I wouldn't run the full set. The only character which I would run the full set would be on Min. With the 2 girls, I would only run the 2 set. So that's how I would utilize that specific set itself. Heading over to the shield, yes, the Guardian set. This is very self-explanatory. So shield effect increases by 30%. When a team member, including the player, activates shield, it increases damage dealt by 10% for 10 seconds. So as it stands, this is the set that I have applied onto JINWOO. Now if you want to, you can run a 2 set on that, so that way you get the bonus on the shield plus 30%, and then if you want to maximize her max HP, you can run the 2 set for what do you call it, the what's this called again, noble sacrifice. So you can run a 2 set, but right now I've got a full set of Palace Guard's helmet. That works perfectly fine for JINWOO, of course. You can also utilize it with any other shield user. So where's the, yeah, Kim is also a good shield user, so you can also throw that onto him if you want to make good use of that. I was going to mention the Demon King sword, but one thing which I will say, when it comes to the book as well as the sword itself, you can cater to running. So for example, let's say I've got a Huntsman shotgun, and so with that you want to cater to the Solid Foundation set, and so with that, if you want to throw these 2 in with it, then you can do so with that set itself. These weapons can just work universally with just any type of damage up essentially, or even crit. So realistically, when it comes to like the 2 dark type weapons, which will go into what artifacts works best with those, you can kind of use prioritize those artifacts for those weapons, and then add on these 2 with them, if that makes sense, right? Because they're kind of universal in terms of whatever artifact works. Heading over to what else we got? Ah, yes, the Hunter's helmets. So your damage dealt to enemies in the break stat state increases by 15%. When attacking, the weakness attribute increases break effect by 30%. So this is mainly for breakers. So obviously with this one, again, very self-explanatory. You can give it to JINWOO. I've got it applied onto my JINWOO right now, of course. So you can apply it onto him. You can give it to JINWOO, of course. You can also give it to Lim. Lim it opens up in terms of having multiple artifacts. So if you want to cater to the break side of things, you can also apply it onto him. Emma, you can. I mean, with Emma, if you want to double it with the HP, you can do so. But Emma, I also have it on Emma with my break, applying that gear set. JINWOO was also a character that can utilize it, but I would cater more to the shield side of things for her, as well as also if you want to double set HP as well as the shield, then you can do so. But in particular, it's going to be the boys. So JINWOO, of course, JINWOO as Lim Taegyu. So those are going to be 3 characters. But Emma and JINWOO can cater to it. I've actually got it on my Emma right now, so Emma is also optional. So break units will benefit largely with that. The hard leather helmet, your critical hit rate increases by 8%, your critical hit damage increases by 32%. So this set right here is for Chahayan. She's not in the game yet, but if you want to get ahead of the game and farm, this is going to be the set for her, because she's coming in as that crit user. Not only that, this is where we're coming back to the weaponry. So if you want to make good use of that set for JINWOO, it's going to be for the sword, and it's going to be for the scythe. These 2 weaponry will cater to that artifact, and so that's why I say, since that's going to be your main weaponry and that's going to be the main artifact that you're using for it, you can then cater to just having along the book and the sword with that as a little combination, because they'll work just as fine in terms of damage. Obviously with Vulcan's Rage, I completely forgot about that. Isn't Vulcan's Rage, I mean, it also applies a shield, but it's more for damage. Actually, to be fair, with Vulcan's Rage, you can cater to either running the Solid Foundation or the Armed set, to be honest. So you've got your options of 2. So yeah, there you go. But that is pretty much the artifacts, as well as which hunters you want to kind of use these artifacts for. Now obviously you've got the accessories. Now the accessories are kind of more of an open field in terms of who you want to apply it to. So obviously with the Executioner set, when attacking enemies with 40% or less HP, increases damage dealt by 8%. HP condition has been changed to 70%, and damage increases effect to 20%. So with this one, you've also got the alternative play where when the user has 50% HP or less, their damage dealt increases by 15%. HP condition has been changed to 70%, and damage dealt increases effect to 30%. So it really comes down to on if you want to make it so that when your HP goes down, you're allowing yourself to do more damage, or if the enemy's HP has gone down, then you're still allowing yourself to do more damage, of course. So it's a bit of a play, because realistically the HP condition, if you full set it, stays at 70%, but it's more in terms of wanting that extra 10%, because it's more easier to drop the enemy's HP and to not drop your own HP. I say that, I've actually had my HP drop below 70%, so I can actually cater to the 30%. So, like I say, with the accessory side of things, it's more of an open field. So clearly with the Executioner set and the Berserker set, it's going to be more in line for damage, right? It's going to be more in line for damage, so you really want to utilize these sets for the units that are there doing the damage. But it's going to be a tough call in terms of if you want to cater to doing the damage to the enemy to then get into 20%, or you knowing you're gonna fall below the 70%, and so that way you can get that 30%. So it's gonna, I mean, well then again, the scythe will work pretty nicely with that, because the scythe does kind of siphon off your HP, so you're already a step there in terms of losing HP to go below the 70% mark. So it's a pretty tough call in terms of the artifacts. But with that being said, because again, these two are a bit of a toss up on whichever one you want, with the remaining ones, they've kind of got their selective characters. So for example, when it comes to the expert, this is catering more to the critical side. So when landing a critical hit, has a 25% chance to increase attack by 0.8%, stacking up to 100 times. So again, so with this specific gear set, Chahayen is going to be benefiting from this, right? And with that set, you want to cater again to the dark swords, being the scythe and the katana. So that's where that specific artifact will be best to use at, because it's a crit set. So with that accessory, again, you want to cater that with the toughness set, so that way you can maximize your critness. Heading over to so that's that one done. This one is going to be more on a support play. So when tagging out, increases the attack of you and your team members by 12% for 10 seconds. Increase the attack increase effect by 20% and duration for 15 seconds. So with this particular set, what is it called again? Outstanding Connections. I would throw that onto either Libora or Min in terms of switching in and out. I did at one point have it for JINWOO in terms of shielding, right? But what was it? Was it a QT? No. Yeah, so so I kind of made a mistake on that one. So I really wouldn't put that on JINWOO. So yeah, so with the outstanding connection artifact, I would, or accessory, either Libora or Min will be more beneficial for that set. When it comes to the what's this one called? The concentration of firepower. So increases skill MP consumption rate by 20%, but increases damage dealt by 5% and decreases basic skill cooldown by 5%. Increases damage. Increases damage. What? Increases damage increase effect to 18% and cooldown reduction effect on basic skills to 18%. So this, I mean, yes, you are increasing your MP consumption, but the best character that will be best with this are the ones that are utilizing their basic skills in a more consistent manner. So for example, JINWOO is also going to be huge for that, because she is very, you can just, her consistent rate of using the basic skills is ridiculous. So you can cater to that in terms of that skill. I guess you can throw it onto Troy in terms of his yeah, if you throw the ultimate, then that resets his basic skills, so you can kind of work that if you want to, but I think for the best for right now will be JINWOO, to be honest. But basically, users that frequently output basic skills in a more consistent manner will probably, yeah, no, they'll benefit from the concentration of firepower, basically. Last set being the Champion of Field. So increases attack by 5% for 4 seconds when landing a critical hit, and then the attack increase effect stacked maximum increase to 4 instances. So obviously with this one, I mean, at first I was like, cool, attack increase, but then I was like, wait a minute, there's a bit of a catch. So the stipulations for this one, in order to get that increase on the attack, you just have to land a critical hit. So yeah, again, this one is kind of in correlations to units that are now have decent amount of crits. So this one's going to be a tough one. Because at the end of the day, there are some artifacts or some accessories that you'll get where their stats are just absolutely insane, and it kind of forces you to use it, which I completely understand. So just, I guess in hopes, get some crits if you want to utilize that. Again, this one, I probably wouldn't throw this onto anyone. It just really depends on if they got crit. So realistically, if you've got a good crit for Choi, if you've got a good crit for Huang, throw that in there. I guess if you want to give it to Lim, then you can do so, get that 5%, you know. But even Emma, actually, yeah, there you go, even Emma. Actually, even break units, there you go. if they got good amount of crits going on with their substats. So, but yeah, in all honesty, boys, it is going to be universally when it comes to, like, obviously the breakers, the attackers. Realistically, the accessories that you're going to probably cater more to for those characters in particular will be the berserker or the executioner. It really just comes down to on whether or not your health is dropping low to your being able to drop the enemy's HP low to 70%. Anyway, these are the current artifacts we have. Now, there are more to come. I don't know what they're going to be doing. I'm hoping we get an artifact that caters to defense. That's something that we need. So yeah, hopefully we get something like that. I feel like we will be getting something like that, to be honest, in it, you know, with the other artifacts. So we'll have to wait and see on what they're going to be. But for right now, that's everything in terms of the artifacts and the accessories, in terms of which best go with hunters as well as also weaponry, of course. So there's that. Again, with the accessories, it's more of an open book, but with the ones that I've particularly mentioned, I mean, those ones I would say stick to those specific characters, but it's going to be these two that are, I guess these three, but these two in particular more to be universally used in terms of majority of your SSRs, especially your breakers, I would say. So yeah. But anyway, boys, there you go. Those are the artifacts that co-align with the hunters themselves. So, yeah, that way you won't be wasting your gold now unnecessarily.